Good morning, everybody. Thanks for making it, despite the party yesterday. So I'm CEO of Photobox for the group. We're the leading site for personalized product online for consumers. So we allow customers to actually customize, personalize products with their photo, with text, with whatever they want, and then we make them. So we're a bit unusual in the world of e-commerce because we take those products designed online and we make them on the spot and we deliver them. And what I love about this business, and you can see with some of these images here, is that all the products we do are highly emotional. We see ourselves as merchants of happiness, merchants of joy. We celebrate birthdays, we celebrate holidays, people coming back from holidays. We have people use us to propose. We have people who use us for 50th birthday anniversaries, whatever it is. It's always loaded with emotions because people have invested in actually making the product. So that's what's a little bit different in the company. We call it the digi-fizzy thing. We have customers go digital and transfer that digital experience to a physical product. So what's the business? Today we operate under 4 brands. The first 2 you might be familiar with. Photobox is the leading service for photo products, primarily photo books, wall decor products. It's all about making products that make you and the recipient feel special. It's about keeping memories of your life and transferring these photos that are stuck in your phone, that are stuck in your computer, that may be stuck on Dropbox, and taking them out in the open world, in the real world. Moonpig, we bought 2.5 years ago, is the leading service for personalized card. Effectively, you find on Moonpig 12,000 designs that are either licensed from publishers or made by us, and we allow customers to customize those cards, and we send it on their behalf. And increasingly, we're about celebrating those great events, those 12 million birthdays that, in particular, that we celebrate with our customers with gifts that go with the card. So that's one of the leading service, in fact, worldwide in this category. And then recently we launched a paper shaker brand, which is about invitations and announcements, so birth announcements, wedding invitations, and I'll talk about it in a second. And finally, we bought a little asset deal. It's called Stickygram. It's a business that entirely leverages Instagram as a basis to make products. I'll get back to that in a second. Just to give you an idea of the business, we've ramped up the sales from about 60 million 4 years ago to last fiscal year, 150 million in sterling. The business is healthily profitable. We had 20 million EBITDA and about 15 million free cash flow. So it's a healthy business model, converting those digital assets into physical products. We're vertically integrated, so we have some investment in the infrastructure to deliver those products across Europe with the right level of service. So what's the opportunity? Marco asked me to focus a bit on why we think this is big. So this is the overview of the markets that are directly addressable by Photobox, by the group today. There's 3 main components. There's the photo products, which is about 2.5 billion in Europe, still majority in retail, so taken in store, but about 40–45% has already migrated online. Thanks to the innovation that came through the power of effectively your mobile phone or your computer to make a product that's more interesting than just printing photos. So that's the first category. The second one is cards, single cards in the UK. The Moonpig segment, that's just in the UK, 1.4 billion pounds, just in the UK. That's almost entirely a retail-based category. There's only about 4% that has migrated online, and we're about 60 to 70% of that with the Moonpig brand. And finally, the category that I talked about earlier on paper shaker invitations and announcements, that's also a $2.5 billion industry across Europe that has barely moved online. It's still mostly mom and pop shops that you go to, you get a proof of your wedding invitation, you iterate with the mom and pop shop, they charge you crazy amounts, and then finally you get your 100 or 200 invitations done. And so very inefficient and uncreative environment right now for that category, which therefore has barely moved online. So out of, call it 6 to 7 billion directly addressable market, right now we have a little bit more than 1 billion that's moved online. Still a secular kind of migration to the online world that still needs to happen and that we're working on. So what's the reason for the success, and why do we think that migration is going to continue to accelerate? Well, the first thing is the product, frankly. Product is really what we're about. In the end, customers, what they get from us needs to be a beautiful product that is loaded with emotions, that reflects on them having made it in a positive way. In many cases, it's also used for a gift, and therefore it needs to be at the right level, given that this is something that's generally loaded with emotion. So we're constantly innovating on products. We have about 80% of our sales today that are done with products that we didn't have 6 or 7 years ago. So there's a constant flow of new products coming through in the core categories that we do, such as card designs that we're expanding, or new formats of wall decor, large formats that you can put on your walls, but also with gifts. And here you can see, for those who were at the party yesterday and want a shot, we even sell stuff like gift sets for cocktails, and so we try to expand into gifting in a fun way for our customers. So big focus still on products, because that's the motor to innovate and to accelerate this migration online. The second piece is around mobile. So as for many e-commerce businesses, ours is also moving to a mobile environment. So big focus in the business on mobile responsive services, but also apps. Here you can see on the curve the share of transactions on the Moonpig service, which is a fairly simple one to use on your mobile. That is done on mobile. We're now at 30% of that business that is on mobile, through a combination of mobile responsive experience and apps. So clear trend. And what we're seeing, it's kind of fun, is just before major events, such as Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, we can see the mobile kind of demand surge from last-minute users, such as probably quite a few in this room. So we can see a real kind of convenience factor coming in from the mobile experience, which is critical for our development. We're also expanding into new categories. So I talked about paper shaker earlier. What we want this to be is really the service where, if you bother sending an invitation, if you bother sending a note to tell people that you've just had a baby or that you're getting married, you really want it to be highly personal. You really want it to be beautiful. So we've created a site where you can absolutely customize every single element of your card. We have beautiful designs with a service that's delivered within or shipped out within a day, and we're expanding the categories of stationery effectively that we're covering on this site. But we're also expanding internationally. The service has been launched in the UK in April, then in France in June, and last week in Germany. So we're rolling out a pan-European service, as we've done with Photobox, which is present in 18 countries now. And last piece is leveraging the social environment. So Stickygram is the brand we're planning to use for that. It was initially a service that did magnets, fridge magnets, based on your Instagram photos. We bought it in June, and since then we've expanded the product set, in particular to phone cases and iPad cases. And so now you can go on the site, pick a few photos from your Instagram account, and very simply design your phone case. Big market, phone cases across the world. It's several billion. And this is a platform that is global by definition. We do about half of the sales in the US, and Brazil and Asia is fairly big as well for that brand. So that's the last element, I would say, in terms of our puzzle of brands to expand the scope of the service to other geographies and products. Just to wrap up, really big market opportunity. We're talking about 6 to 7 billion in directly addressable market, plus new geographies or new categories such as gifting that we think bring a lot of potential. We're clear market leaders. We're about 2 to 3 times bigger than our closest competitor here in Europe. Clearly a profitable and healthy business that we're excited about. It allows us to continue to invest, in particular in innovation around mobile and new products and new product categories, which makes it all the more exciting. Thank you.